This week, the senators who are sitting down with Judge Amy Coney Barrett are meeting an incredibly impressive jurist and highly qualified nominee. They're hearing from the professor whom former colleagues call, quote, mind-blowingly intelligent, one of the most humble people you're going to meet, and the complete package. They're meeting a law school valedictorian, an award-winning academic, whom peers praise for her lucid, elegant prose, piercing legal analysis, and absolute dedication to the rule of law. And senators are meeting the distinguished circuit judge, whom the liberal law professor Noah Feldman says is a brilliant and conscientious lawyer who is highly qualified to serve on the Supreme Court. Some of our Democrat colleagues have decided they will refuse to meet with Judge Barrett. Several have volunteered that their votes will have nothing to do with her qualifications, as though that were something to be proud of. The Democratic leader says, quote, it's not her qualifications. The junior senator from Delaware says this isn't about her qualifications. Certainly every senator may define, advise, and consent how they wish, but I think it's telling to see Senate Democrats openly affirming that Judge Barrett's actual judicial qualifications do not matter to them. Our friends on the left really do mistake the court as an unelected super legislature. They're not interested in Judge Barrett's legal qualifications because they think judges are there to dictate policy outcomes rather than following the facts and text wherever they lead. That's why we've gotten the same scare tactics for almost half a century. John Paul Stevens was going to end women's rights. David Souter was going to send vulnerable people into the dark ages. John Roberts was going to declare war on health insurance. And now our Democrat colleagues want Americans to believe that Judge Barrett is on a one-woman crusade to hurt Americans with pre-existing conditions. One senator has literally claimed the nominee would, quote, listen to this, create a humanitarian catastrophe. The same old scare tactics, totally predictable and totally dishonest. These baseless attacks over health care are supposedly founded on a technical argument in a 4-year-old scholarly article. Then Professor Barrett analyzed the Supreme Court's ruling on one piece of Obamacare, the unfair, unpopular, individual mandate penalty, which we have since zeroed out. The constitutional arguments over whether that terrible idea was a penalty or a tax are now moot, because whatever you want to call it, Republicans in Congress zeroed it out 3 years ago. Working Americans are no longer penalized by that Democrat policy. Americans with pre-existing conditions are still protected. And that specific legal question is moot. Our Democratic colleagues are grasping at straws. Now they want Judge Barrett to promise to recuse herself from whole categories of cases. Of course, that is ridiculous. It's hard to think of anyone in the country over whom a president has less leverage than a judge with a lifetime appointment. Nobody suggested Justice Sotomayor or Justice Kagan needed to categorically sit on the sidelines until President Obama had left office. This is just a backdoor attempt to impugn Judge Barrett's integrity. If senators believe this nominee is committed to impartial justice in every case, if they believe she will mean her oath when she takes it, they should vote to confirm her. If they don't, they should vote no. But only one of these arguments has any basis in Judge Barrett's resume, her reputation, and the praise that has been showered on her by jurisprudence, even by famous liberal lawyers. Judge Barrett has already stated in writing to the Senate that she's given nobody at the White House any hints or any assurances about any kinds of cases, real or hypothetical. It is only Senate Democrats who are trying to extract promises and pre-commitments. It is only Democrats who are trying to undermine judicial independence. Last night on national television, former Vice President Biden refused to rule out the radical notion of packing the Supreme Court. He ducked the question. In Washington, when you duck the question, you know what the answer is. That's exactly what they're up to. That's exactly what they intend to do. Last year, our colleague Senator Harris said explicitly that she was open to it. Another way of saying that's what they intend to do. Numerous of our colleagues have refused to rule out this radical institution-shattering step. And now Senate Democrats are trying to make Judge Barrett pre-commit to handle hypothetical issues the way they want. More disrespect for judicial independence. Judge Barrett understands that judges' only loyalties must be to our laws and our Constitution. She understands our system would collapse if judges do not leave politics aside. If the Democratic Party feels differently, if Democrats have decided that judicial independence is simply an inconvenience to their radical agenda, it just shows how little weight we should afford their criticisms of this outstanding nominee.